21 years old. I attend City College. I'm studying political science. But today is not about me. Today is about all of us. It's about embracing who we are in the face of fascism, bigotry, and injustice. So today, I want the world to know that my name is Diego Alfonso Figueroa, and I'm proud to be Latino. I am the proud son of two first-generation college graduates. My father is here in the crowd. And the grandson of the bravest people I know, who took the greatest risk imaginable, leaving their homeland in pursuit of a better life in the United States. Without knowing a lick of English, my grandparents immigrated from Cuba and the Dominican Republic nearly 60 years ago. They fled dictatorships, tyranny, and flagrant violations of human rights. They came here with nothing but a dream, a sliver of hope that someday their descendants would be better off than they were. I stand before you as the living embodiment of my grandparents' dream. And my grandmother would be proud to see how far I've come. But she would be remiss to see the United States slowly falling into the same hell that she escaped. If she were here today, she would see Latinos with her same dream, fearing that they may be jailed and used as scapegoats for political purposes. She would see families about to get torn apart and children about to get thrown into cages, starving alone and calling for their parents. She'd see that even in her city, the threat of deportation has never been higher. She'd see her fellow hard-working immigrants doing the jobs that no one else will do. Only to be neglected by elected officials who proclaim they are staunch defenders of human rights. She would come to me and she would say that an injustice is being done to our brothers and sisters from Venezuela, Colombia, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Guatemala, Mexico, Puerto Rico, y todos nosotros. And all other Latinos in pursuit of a better life for their children. Then she'd ask me, what am I gonna do about it? She'd ask all of us, what are we going to do to stop the American carnage? What will we do in the face of mass deportation? What will we do in the face of family separation? What will we do when the very fabric of our country is being torn apart? Immigrants built this country. We are a country of immigrants, a state of immigrants, a city of immigrants, a people of immigrants. And as I draw on my heritage, I refuse to allow my country to turn into the same one that my grandparents fled. That's because we are the United States of America. We ask the world to give us its hungry, its poor, and its forgotten so that they might have a chance at a better life. So today, I ask you, as my grandmother would have asked us all, in the face of a racist incoming administration, are we going to defend the rights of immigrants? Are we ready to do whatever it takes to protect our Latin brothers and sisters? Are we going to stand up for their right to a better life when no one else will? I worked with school-age children this past summer and developed many close bonds with some students who I know who are undocumented and they face grave uncertainty. I want you guys to know today that I march for you. Tomorrow I march for you.
Yeah!
Forever I shall march for you.
Yeah!
Because I will fight until the death to make sure that you grow up in a land that recognizes your humanity.
Yeah!
Even though we have an incoming government who doesn't see migrants as people, I do.
Yeah!
We all do.
Yeah!
My grandmother used to say, "De lo bueno quedamos poco," which means there are few good people left in this world. And I'd always respond with, "Pero quedamos," meaning we are still here. We are facing fascism at its highest order, and hope may seem sparse, but remember that even though it may seem that a few good people remain, we still remain. And to echo the great words of Dr. King, together we shall overcome. Say it with me. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Diego. And I just want to say something. There are a few good people left in this world, and they're right here. Every single one of you is a great person. Next up, we have Ellen Miller, they, them, and they are with the Socialist Alternative. Hey, everybody, it's great to see you all out here. It's cold, but we're all going to stay warm, like a huddle of penguins. My name is Ellen. I'm a member of Socialist Alternative in New York. I'm going to cut straight to the chase. Trans people have been a canary in the coal mine for the threat that this separate system represents for working and oppressed people. Over 1,000 anti-trans bills have been put forward across the country to undermine the rights of trans youth and trans adults in just the past couple of years. Since the election, the right wing has been even more emboldened. This week, the House of Representatives voted forward a bill that would cut Title IX protections for trans student athletes from college to elementary schools. Yeah, that's right. The administration is promising to redefine gender, to defund hospitals that provide gender-affirming care to young people, and to put an end to what Trump calls transgender lunacy. Which makes it sound kind of cool, honestly. The new administration is trying, although they're going to fail, to put trans people on the chopping block because we are part of their divide and conquer strategy. They've got millions of people to vote for them, promising to end inflation and lower prices in the grocery store, but in reality, they've got absolutely nothing to offer. They're one of the two parties that represent the bosses, and they're not going to talk about price controls or ending price gouging. So instead, they're going to talk about the trans girl on your kid's softball team and use her to slash healthcare and school funding. But all of our movements are connected, and the fight for trans rights is just one piece of a bigger puzzle. They feel confident in attacking us now because unlike 8 years ago, they're not being hit back by the same mass social movements that, for example, put an end to the Muslim ban. They feel like they have the advantage, and they're using it to put up a big middle finger to past movements for queer rights. Just like they're putting up a middle finger to the Me Too movement by confirming rapist after rapist for Trump's cabinet. If y'all remember 7 years ago, Trump put Brett Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court and thousands of people took to the streets to oppose him everywhere in the country. They think that they're ahead of that kind of a fight right now, and it's absolutely crucial that we prove them wrong. Trump and the right are not stronger than us. They are terrified of us. They are terrified of a new movement developing for bodily autonomy for women and trans people because it threatens them with the prospect of Medicare for all, including abortion and gender-affirming care, which undermines the profits of the healthcare CEOs in the cabinet. They're terrified of a new movement developing for immigrant rights because it threatens them with having our unions organized in mass campaigns to stop deportations and to guarantee living wages for working people of all backgrounds. They're terrified of a movement developing against racist police violence because it threatens calling into question the very foundations of this system and puts forward the need for fully affordable, high-quality public housing and fully funded schools instead of $6 billion police budgets. And we should be clear, the right wing is not more popular than affordable housing, or high-quality public health care, or free abortion on demand. Abortion rights won more votes in Florida than either corporate candidate. The only thing that the right has on us is that today they're better organized, and today is the day that we need to change that. We're in the streets, and we need to go out into our workplaces and in our schools to put forward these kinds of popular demands and build mass campaigns to win them. And ultimately, we need to fight for a new party because Joe Biden ran promising to defend Roe v. Wade and then let abortion rights topple while hardly lifting a finger. We need to fight for a new party because 81 Democrats just joined Republicans in proving that they represent the billionaires when they voted to spend $900 trillion on the U.S. military while banning gender-affirming care for children and military families. So we need a new party of struggle that is built by and for movements of working and oppressed people and that takes no money from billionaire CEOs. We need to point that fight towards the real advancements of rights of women, immigrants, trans people, black people, and all working people through real action. Sit-ins, occupations, protests, and strikes against right-wing attacks. Because when our rights are under attack, what do? Stand up, fight back! That's right. And at Socialist Alternative, we think that fight needs to be for a socialist world free from profit and exploitation. We'll be having a public meeting 1 week from today to discuss how to fight back against the Trump administration. And if you're interested in that, you should go to our table back there and talk to us about how to take that forward. Thank you.
Up next, we have Robin Strauss with the Mobilization for Reproductive Justice in New York City. She's also a teacher at Hunter College.
Thank you. This is a beautiful sight, seeing all these people here, all of you here, and it's growing. Because I'm looking over and behind you in the back, and it's growing and growing. And I want to thank the Women's March for organizing this. It's a really amazing event. I'm very glad to see all of you. I'm here, give yourself an applause. It's fantastic. I'm here from the New York City Mobilization for Reproductive Justice. We have a table right back here. I hope you'll go over there, see the literature, see what we stand for. But I do want to tell you a little bit about what we're about, and I also want to talk about what's happening in New York City. The New York City mobilization, we formed right around when the Dobbs decision dropped. We're a multi-issue organization, and we fight for bodily autonomy. And what does that mean? It means everything. It means we can walk where we want to walk. It's safe to go where we want to go. Disabled people have access in the subways here in New York and anywhere. It means abortion is health care, and if it's your choice, it's your right. And it means if you want to have a baby, that's your right too, okay? That's what bodily autonomy, stands for. It stands for basically everything, and we fight for that. We, in our organization, we are centering the most marginalized groups. You've heard about these groups today. We believe in gender-affirming care. We believe in access. And we believe that it is not acceptable that in the United States, black women bear the inequities of having the highest number of maternal deaths, deaths during delivery, deaths during pregnancy than any other racial group in this country. That is not okay, and we are going to fight that. We also believe in the power of labor, and the New York City Mob has organized a couple of conferences with unions. How many of you here are in unions? Okay, fantastic. For those of you in unions, we want you to take reproductive justice into the conversations in your unions and build. I know you're talking about bread and butter issues. We also want you to add to the conversations about reproductive justice, because reproductive justice is a labor issue. Let's make it real and bring it into our unions. For those of you who are not in unions, think about organizing a union. That would be a great thing to do. A great way to fight back. And also, for now, bring the conversation of reproductive justice into your work, into your conversations with people in HR. Just bring those conversations. Let's keep this conversation open. It's really, really important. We stand in solidarity with the people of Palestine and all global liberation struggles. All. We see the attacks on our reproductive rights and freedoms mirrored in the genocide that we are seeing in Palestine. We see it in the colonial violence, gender violence, and the genocide, as I said. Our struggles manifest differently. The way we are enduring the attacks here is not the way the attacks are being endured, of course, in Palestine, but we are bound together in a struggle against racism, against state violence, against war, and against occupation. And as been said before by these fabulous speakers, with the Trump administration, starting up, and we've already begun to hear about it, the attacks are ramping up. Things are happening. We don't have to have a wait and see attitude about it. Things attacks are beginning to, progress. And we're seeing more threats around criminalization and punishment for people who are brave enough to defy these fanatics, these bigots, and for those who are providing for them. So we've got to ramp it up too. I just want to talk a little bit about what's happening in New York, and because we have our own set of problems here. I mean, we're in a blue state, abortion is legal here, but we've got problems here that you need to know about, and I hope will bring you around to the New York City mobilization, because we are educating ourselves and we are grassroots activists. We're out there and we're fighting. I had an abortion in 1970, and despite abortion being legal in the state, Clinic Defense here in New York regularly has to fight right-wing louts harassing abortion clinic patients. And I don't know what to call Eric Adams. He's the mayor. He's disgusting. Your man, he regularly sends the Strategic Response Unit, that's a specialized unit of cops here in New York City, over to the clinics and to harass and arrest clinic defenders. This is why the abortion pill, mifepristone, is so monumental and important, because you cannot harass women who are taking an abortion pill in the privacy of their own space. Harassment doesn't exist, and it's easy. And that's what the right wing doesn't want. They don't want it to be easy. We want it to be easy. It should be easy. It's not complicated at all, okay? So this, I think, is going to be the central beginning issue that we are going to be fighting in 2025 in reproductive justice. It's going to be to preserve the abortion pill. And we're already seeing threats and attacks against providers who are prescribing the pill to women and childbearing people in states outside New York. In New York, Dr. Carpenter, an OBGYN, recently, a few months ago, prescribed mifepristone to a 20-year-old in Texas. And the fanatic, bigot, misogynist, disgusting Attorney General, Ken Paxton, you'll hear his name, he filed a lawsuit against Dr. Carpenter, even though in New York we have the SHIELD law, and the SHIELD law protects providers not to cooperate with any of these lawsuits. What Ken Paxton is doing is testing out the SHIELD law. We're going to see it being tested out, threatened, and doctors being criminalized. We need our doctors to be bold. We need, like Dr. Carpenter, and step up against these threats. Okay. One other thing, you know, with regards to Eric Adams. Eric Adams was in Florida yesterday, Mar-a-Lago, right? And we know why he was there. He's there trying to make a deal. He will deport, you know, make sure immigrants here are deported for a pardon on his federal indictment. We do not deal with, immigrants are not up for deal. There is no debate about that. Eric Adams got himself in trouble, get himself out of it, but not off the backs of immigrants.
Yeah!
It looks like the ruling elites, the right wing, the misogynists, imperialists, colonialists want us dead. They want our babies, but they want us dead. But guess what? Our lives are not up for debate.
Yeah!
Are you with me?
Yeah!
Our lives are not going to be reduced to court battles and legislative minutia. We are taking our lives back. We need to work together, though. We need to fight. It's great to see so many people here at this demonstration, and afterwards, we have to do the work. And if we do it together, that's how we're going to fight back. We're going to win what's rightfully ours. I hope you'll join us at the New York City mobilization meetings. We meet once a month on the first Wednesday of the month, 7 to 8:30 on Zoom. It's as easy as an abortion pill. And we have our leaflets in the back right near that building. Thank you all for coming out.
Thank you so much, Robin. Guys, I know it's cold out here. We're wrapping up the speeches here in just a moment. But first, the lovely Hima Bustamante with Undocumented Women's Fund and Democratic Socialists of America.
Hi everyone, how are you doing today? I was told that people in the back cannot hear, so let's do a little exercise. Clap once if you can hear me. Clap twice if you can hear me. Great. And it's really cold, so I just want to propose a little dynamic. Why don't we shake it up? Like, shake it up, everyone. Shake it up, shake it up. Down, shake it up, shake it up. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Thanks for your patience and for staying here and being here in this cold day. My name is Hima Bustamante. I am a proud Mexican immigrant. I am a member of the Democratic Socialists of America, and I'm also the founder of a grassroots feminist organization called the Undocumented Women's Fund. And, you know, from the beginning of the pandemic until today, we've been building a care network to really wrap up immigrant women from Latin America, to create an organizing network and have people that are most affected really organize for their own rights and to meet their own needs, right? And it's with this hat that I want to speak to you today. In the recent days, I'm sure that many of us have been having conversations trying to understand what has happened, right? Trying to understand how is it that we got to this place that we're in right now. And I believe that it's very, very important to really make sense of this. I believe that the reason why Trump was able to win is because he understood that there's wide anger among the working class in the United States, right? And rightful anger. People are angry about the deteriorating working conditions and living conditions, right? So he sees that anger, and instead of placing it, of course, where it belongs, right? Instead of saying, well, during the pandemic, the richest of the rich, grew their wealth, right? And the poorer are now even poorer, and the exploited and the excluded, as it is our community, our undocumented community, are even further excluded and exploited. Of course, he didn't say that, right? He took the path of criminalizing and scapegoating the most vulnerable, right? Criminalizing those that actually sustain this country during the pandemic, which is immigrant labor, low-wage immigrant labor, right? And that keeps sustaining this city. So it was easy to say it is them, right, because of immigrants that we are in this condition, instead of blaming the capitalist class, right? And we have to have that very clear when we are addressing all of our neighbors. And this is where I want to kind of invite us for a moment of reflection. In the last weeks, as an organization, we've been participating in multiple Know Your Rights. How to defend our people in schools, in hospitals, in businesses, everywhere, right? And every time that I'm in one of those Know Your Rights, I'm always thinking, yeah, of course, ICE and La Migra, they are fucking paramilitary force. They are very dangerous. We should say that the Democrats have built the infrastructure that now allows Trump to do these threats to our communities, right? But what we should keep in mind is that when people are saying, how do we keep La Migra out from the city, we should keep in mind that in a way, and bear with me with the metaphor, in a way it is already in. What do I mean by this? Right-wing forces are already among us, among the people closest to us. They are here when we hear that a principal in a school in the Bronx is not allowing the teachers to go to a Know Your Rights to defend their students, or is saying, what happened with good old American names? Why everyone is called Maria and Jorge today, right? Those right-wing forces are in here among us when we see that an immigrant-owned business is blasting a Trump a speech when the kitchen is full of Mexican workers, right? So this is, our neighbors, our teachers, our healthcare workers, many of them voted for Trump. And the reason why I'm saying this is not to bump everyone, but to actually think, what is the task that we have ahead? What is the fight that we have ahead? That is not only, to protect the most vulnerable, but to organize in place. And once again, going with this metaphor of the right-wing forces that are already in, I want to speak about our major. Some of the previous speakers already addressed this, right? But what we've been seeing is that Adams, despite the fact that he's a Democrat, he has just been repeating the same rhetoric of Trump, right? Yeah. Right? Do we agree, yes, that Adam needs to go?
Yeah!
Okay. So we work a lot with recent immigrants, and what we've been seeing is that Adams has been profiting from recent immigrants, right? He has signed multi-millionaire contracts, no-bid contracts for him as his friends for asylum-seeking operations, and then he dares to say, oh, well, we're spending too much money in immigrants, and the reason why we're cutting all services, the reason why we're cutting funding for schools, for hospitals, for libraries, for parks, it's because we are giving money to immigrants, and that's a complete lie. He's giving money to his friends. And then when you actually work with immigrant communities, you realize that the support doesn't reach them. That the living conditions of recent immigrants are really terrible. And I don't know if you know, but there is an ongoing process of shelter evictions. Adams has been getting the right to shelter, and now immigrant families that live in the shelter system every 60 days are evicted, and they have to ask for a new placement. And we've been working with those families forefront, and we see, how they are suffering, from these policies, and at the same time being blamed, right, by the cuts in social services. So I think that we need to have that clarity, and I want to address what we can do, right? And many people have already offered many paths to action. Since 2017, there has been a coalition of labor, especially low-wage immigrant labor organizations, feminist organizations, and immigrant rights organizations that has come together under the banner of the Women's Strike that has been reclaiming March 8th as International Working Women's Day. And this is a day that is huge in all of the continent and in the world. You know, like it's a big movement date. And it's a socialist movement date, right? Like, and we want to reclaim that history. That's what we've been doing for 7 years. And this March 8th are going to be out in Washington Square Park. And I want to invite all of you to get involved in the organizing for March 8th this year. And what we're going to be putting forward is a platform, a socialist feminist platform for the city. And what does that mean? It means, on the one hand, that we're going to be demanding social services and care for everyone, regardless of immigration status. That means, you know, like you have to offer public benefits to everyone, social services to everyone. You have to fund our schools, our hospitals, our parks, our libraries, right? That's one side of the platform, care, not cuts. And the other side of the platform is, of course, opposing, you know, like this policing and immigration enforcement machine. There are real risks in New York, despite the fact that we have some of the best laws in, you know, like the whole country. The mayor is not willing to enforce these laws, right? There was a city hearing on Thursday about protection of New Yorker immigrants in City Hall, and it was surprising to see that the Office of Immigrant Affairs has no plan on how to enforce the laws, has no infrastructure to, you know, like prevent ICE from coming in or getting the data of immigrant New Yorkers, right? Like, so I mean, like, this is like the real, like, danger, right? Like, so we are gonna be, you know, like, fighting the over-policing and, you know, like, the risk of immigration enforcement in New York, and that is gonna be the other side of the platform. So I invite you again to organize together with us for March 8th, International Working Women's Day, and you can follow us at Ondoku Women's Fund, and there we're going to be sharing all the information for this day. And now I just want to kind of like lead a chant, if people are still in the mood. Yes. Okay, great. So when workers are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! When immigrants are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! When women are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! When queer people are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! Thank you, everyone.
Okay, all. And last but definitely not least, we have J.W. Walker, the president for Gays Against Guns.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Are you ready to get ready to march? Can you hear me? All right. I was invited up here to speak about gun violence because gun violence is a scourge against our nation. When Gays Against Guns started, we just started about gun violence, but as we went into it over a year, we realized that gun violence is the symptom. It is the tool. It is the loud thing, the searingly bright thing that draws focus to itself and away from the structural deficiencies and inequities that drive it. More than half of the victims of gun violence in this country every year are suicides. And that is because we ignore the mental health problems in this country. We ignore domestic violence and the misogyny that breeds it. We ignore family violence and child abuse because the patriarchy is strong and that's how Donald Trump got elected. We talk about gang violence, but we ignore the broken criminal justice system that helps gangs get started in prison and drives membership everywhere. We ignore police violence until someone gets shot who's unarmed, but we forget about all the people that are needlessly shot, who are armed, who have committed crimes, but did not need to be killed by law enforcement. We ignore our substandard public education system, and we ignore our inadequate health care system. We ignore militarism. We ignore the white supremacy that drives so much of what I've already talked about. And we ignore the profit motive of capitalism that drives gun manufacturers to pump them into our culture constantly. And then we wonder why this country has twice elected that guy president of the United States. Or why our media was more interested in talking about how old Joe Biden was than they were in dissecting Project 2025 and informing the public that a bunch of obscenely rich white supremacists, Christian nationalists, globalists from the Heritage Foundation and America First Policy Institute and the Teneo Network and the Council for National Policy and 100 other hate tanks we're plotting to use that guy's election to install an authoritarian regime and shred the Constitution. But are we going to let them? No! I asked you a question. Are we going to let them? No! Hell no, we're not. All right. I want you all to join me in making this pledge. Repeat after me. I am still a patriot. I still believe in the United States Constitution. I am not defeated. For still I rise. For truth. For justice. For equality. For diversity. For equity. For inclusion. For love. For respect. And for all our siblings. For all our children. For all of humanity. I will resist. The rising tide. Of misogyny. Of anti-black hatred. Of anti-brown hatred. Of anti-queer hatred. Of anti-trans hatred. Of religious hatred. Of Christian nationalism. Of authoritarianism. Of oligarchy. Of fascism. I am the resistance. We are the resistance. We are the resistance. We are the resistance. All right. All right, are we ready? I'm so grateful to have you all here. We're gonna march. We're getting ready to march now. We're gonna wrap around here to start the march. It's gonna be slowly and relaxed. This is a peaceful demonstration of solidarity and resistance. And although it is peaceful, we are gonna make it known that our voices are heard. We're gonna make ourselves seen. And if we have to march every day until our demands are met, then we will do so. We're gonna have Tiffany with the Caribbean Equality Project leading us in a chant. But first, I'd like to make sure that I welcome up any peoples with disabilities and elderly folk so that we can have them in the front as we march. So can we make some space? People with disabilities and elderly folk, can we have you in the front? At the end of the march, when we go to Washington Square Park, we're going to have an open mic. Anyone that would like to speak, this is going to be your time at the end of the march, okay? All right.
All right, y'all. Ooh. Is everyone ready? All right. So I am the Trans Justice Coordinator for Caribbean Equality Project, a trans undocumented immigrant all the way from the Caribbean. So when I say, show me what community looks like, I want you to say, this is what community looks like. Show me what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
Show me what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
Show me what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
Show me what community looks like.
This is what community looks
I
like.
said, show me what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
All right, y'all, let's get this. Let's get this fight. We're all ready. We're all fired up. Let's get it going. We're gonna wrap around. Wrap around.
Which way?
This way.
Yup. Yes, I'll stick by the person I tried.
We just want to give the folks with disabilities and elderly folks to come to the front. Give them a chance to come to the front.
Is there a better sign? No, I don't think so. I was looking at it. I thought it was upside down. Oh no, I'm not gonna. Should your arm?
I know everyone is excited. It's freezing. We're ready to march.
That's the one we just passed.
Okie here we go.
No justice?
No peace.
No justice?
No peace.
I said no justice.
No peace.
I said let's go. No justice?
No peace.
No justice?
No peace.
I said no justice.
No peace.
No justice?
No peace.
No justice?
No peace.
No justice?
No peace.
I said no justice.
No peace.
I said no justice.
No peace.
Full street. Our street. Full 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 street. When I say people, you say power. People. 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 When I say people, you say power. People. 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 Make some noise for yourselves.
forward. Keep marching forward. Marching forward. Marching forward.
I got it right when Trump was elected.
This is what democracy looks like.
If you win LGBT rights under attack,
Stand up like that!
When? Because I'm leaving in midnight.
Posted something on Instagram this week.
No, I just
Yeah.
She was talking to Ebony in the town.
I don't think they do.
It's been so long since that happened. We're like, yeah. I'm gonna advertise some random thing that I just want.
It's exhausting. And you don't live there, so you can't like...
That makes sense. He wasn't. He's family in New Haven. So okay. He was at like.
It has a good echo.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
Sorry. I mean, I like snow. I want snow. I like snow. Snow is what we're supposed to have.
Wait, you know what?
I pressure George.
They did not. I saw it too.
This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. Donald Trump has got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Donald Trump has got to go.
got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Hey, ho, ho. Trump has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. It's got to go. Credit for these people that are. I don't know. That's not safe. They're workers. Oh, they're workers. She's here. She's looking for us. Sarah went. But we don't have much to do.
Job creation.
I know, we should, yeah. I want to go to PC one, yeah.
I always sing working on a chain.
Yes. Hey, Ice Legend. Well, that's I don't have it. It's right on the couch, yeah. Nice.
And that's right before
Not like this one.
I think I told my boss. Logan Marshall drawings and images. Pick it up, pick it up.
Hi, Poppy. The NYPD is marching in solidarity with us. I love it.
I think he said that we were just going to roll.
No, not do it again. Do it again. My husband, Bruce. He's thank you. Oh, you're welcome.
like as if they're broken. Now I think they get.
Oh my God.
So I went right in. I was like, oh yeah, baby.
What job are you working at?
If I walk around with an air horn, how much is that going to slow me down?
The tighter you are, the more secure you are. Let's move up.
So we got a cut here?
Yeah, that's going to be okay, Rob. Rob.
Good shot.
Tighter you are,
No, this particular one.
BLMs or militant?
No, this particular
I fucked it up. I saw someone I knew, and I was like, we're loud, defiant, completely. What is it now? I've lost it again. Extremely non. We're loud, defiant, extremely non-compliant. 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 We're loud.
Trying to pass this at the statewide level. Yeah? Is there one?
No justice! No justice! No justice! No justice! No justice!
So was the trip good? Right on the White House.
I'm live on YouTube. Do you want to say why you have signs that are about the Detroit Lions?
Yeah, just finally the grit of Detroit, which is underappreciated. If anybody would work in 1 hour on the production line, they'd have a different respect for the people of Detroit. So they deserve this Super Bowl. That's for them. City Detroit.
So why this march, though?
For women, for my girls that are in college, that I want to show them the sky's the limit, and they can do anything they want, just like any men used to be able to. Now it's up to I want to make sure they get the right chance to do it.
All right, anything for you?
I'm proud that he is supporting me and women's rights.
All right, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Viola, and
I do. If you knew me, you wouldn't.
Right here.
Oh, that was a thing. It was so fun.
So you can see with this front, it's put on that over building. That's even more.
I think that may be right.
Yeah, I was originally going to get off at Chambers, and then when you guys started walking, I was like, oh, I better get off. Oh, that's good. So yeah, I got off at Ariel. Yeah, I don't know. I know, but I was like, I got so weird.
I was in Tampa.
Yeah, I'll take it with you.
Yeah, but
original one who said the people got the power.
How come you don't do blood?
Trans rights are immigrant rights are human rights. Voting rights are human
Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose country? Our country. Whose country? Our country. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose country? Our country. Whose country? Our country. Women's rights are women's rights are women's rights are human rights.
Women's rights are human rights. Women's rights are human rights. Women's rights are human rights. I said women's rights are human rights. Women's rights are human rights. Workers' rights are human rights. Workers' rights are human rights. Trans rights are human rights. Trans rights are human rights. Immigrant rights are human rights. Immigrant rights are human rights. Woo! When black women have power, we all have power. When black women have power, we all have power. Period.
Wait, let me go.
Let's go. Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Go, hey, hey, ho, ho. Eric Adams has got to go, hey, hey, ho, ho. Eric Adams has got to go, hey, hey, ho, ho. Eric Adams has got to go,
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Eric Adams has got to go,
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Eric Adams has got to go,
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Eric Adams has got to go,
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Eric Adams has got to go,
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Eric Adams has got to go,
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Eric Adams has got to go,
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Eric Adams has got to go,
Ho, ho.
Eric Adams has got to go, Eric Adams has got to go.
We hate Eric Adams.
Sorry.
Oh, you okay? choice.
My body.
My 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 choice.
My body. My choice. Show me what democracy looks like. Show me what community looks like. Show me what community looks like. Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
Show me what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
Show me what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
Show me what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
We've got the power. Who's got the power?
We got the power.
Who's got the power?
We got the power.
Who's got the power?
We got the power.
Who's got the power?
We got the power.
Who's got the power?
We got the power. We got the power. We got the power. We got the power. We got the power.
It's huge.
Oh yeah.
Democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like. Yes. Yeah. This is what democracy looks like.
So it makes sense to have the people here and you.
Yes.
Listen to your voice.
Then guess what? I'm going to right to assemble.
Things like that.
Donald Trump has got to go.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
Donald Trump has got to go.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
Donald Trump has got to go.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
Donald Trump has got to go.
Total disbelief.
And so like it could just be be happy to like post the like just like the discussion whatever you can like say remember your peg me for you.
Hell yeah, she would. Save money. Save money. I wouldn't be surprised if
If it's white, say goodnight because you're gone. You're dead. On my camera.
Yeah.
But I never will.
Hey, hey. Hello. Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey.
Ho, ho! Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey!
Ho, ho. Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey.
Sally, they both like it. They're both good.
I did not, and yet I was.
Yes, you was.
We need like 10-second messaging. 10-second, we need phrases. Snappy phrases and a band, and then maybe we could get somewhere. Right? Simple messaging and the band, right? I really felt like the band had arrived. This is great.
Marcus, I'm getting sick. I feel Marcus.
I know.
The cancer ones are very.
I love seeing you wonderful young people out here. You guys are the future. Thank you for standing up for all of our rights. You guys are awesome. God bless you. I wish, when I was your age, I wish I was out marching in the street. But I was in the 80s. People weren't really marching in the 80s. It was another time. Maybe a few people were. So what are you all marching for? Say what you're marching for.
Abortion rights.
What'd you say? Abortion rights, that's right. Abortion rights, abortion on demand. Abortion is health care. What are you folks marching for? Hell yeah, protect kids, not guns. You see who I'm with. Hell yeah. Keep laws off my body. That's right, off all of our bodies, right? All right. Let's do some chanting for a little bit. Show me what community looks like. Show me what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
We'll never be defeated. We'll never be defeated.
Hey, hey.
Ho, ho. We know the darky has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. We know the darky has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. We know the darky has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. We know the darky has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. We know the darky has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Nice. We know the darky has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. We know the darky has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. It's all the darky has got to go. Yeah, yeah.
Not like, did you put obvious?
Yo, we started yesterday.
No justice! No justice!
No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No justice! No justice! No peace! Yeah.
Play another banger.
¿Qué tú dijiste?
Guys, come march with us. We're marching for women's rights and human rights. Or have fun at brunch.
We could serve. Let's slow down.
Everybody should be behind great restaurants. We have lots of Elon Musk has got to go. I didn't see where he was.
My choice. 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 How do you navigate that? My choice. My choice. My choice. My choice.
And I'm like, I think that might be more comfortable talking to women about it. I always tell Joe.
Fuck Donald Trump!
Fuck Donald Trump! Fuck Donald Trump! 1957,
And I'm, you know.
He foolishly laughed.
And it was knocking out his IQ stash. So
That's
fucking shit.
I want to tell you this. I actually No. Well, they do because they're so hooked up with
Well, I came to Amy's apartment.
Feasibility, difficulty of installation, and in seconds.
She answered all that.
Need my pizza. I might leave. So the different World Trade Center buildings, so like they all had like around Christmas time, like huge red. Yeah, so I wrote a letter to the editor and said what really happened. We're going to Washington Square Park, so I'm taking the buildings.
Have to go home. I have to get ready for fingers.
This is what community looks like. This is what community looks like. This is what community looks like. This is what community looks like.
Quotes. Copied himself to become Kill Bear.
What's in front of us and what's behind us.
The book is like really.
Animals are a metaphor.
Yeah. I wonder if, because in the book, I don't know if it comes out.
Women in power. 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 Women in power.
es Tate es enfermo.
My choice. Your choice. Oh, what is it?
I need to finally watch this.
It's on. I'll watch it.
I'm so down.
Watch out!
They don't care if people die. Pro-life is a lie. They don't care if people die.
Yes, but I can't remember it.
No. That was long.
There was another one that was much bigger.
Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho.
Donald Trump has got to go.
Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho.
Did you see his hat?
Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Elon Musk has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey.
Ho, ho. Elon Musk has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho.
Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Donald Trump has got to go. My choice. My choice.
We're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back.
here. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. 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 No fear. Immigrants are welcome here.
Immigrants are welcome here. Immigrants are welcome here.
No fear.
Immigrants are welcome here.
No hate. No fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate. No fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate. No fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate. No fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate. No fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate. No fear. Immigrants are welcome here.
Sorry.
They did march. Police. Smiling. Surely you jest.
No ice, even on a hot day.
Who's got the power? Who's got the power?
We got the power.
Who's got the power?
We got the power.
Who's got the power? Who's got the power? Who's got the power? Who's got the power? Who's got the power?
So now close to an open mic.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys for coming.
I really thought this was like Shakespeare.
Here's that I couldn't write anything about Luigi.
Free the loop?
I did say that. I was like, this is about women, not a man. It's all related, Kira. Socialism for all.
I would
That tone made it sound like it was.
You think you can control our voices here?
A disco ball.
See if David's
I already did.
I walked up to the fountain where they're doing it.
We can't hear anything. Oh yeah, now we really can't hear it.
You're gonna be like, bitch! We're not going anywhere.
I don't want to be the one to force you to leave this now.
As long as we fight, they cannot win. Thank you.
What's up, everybody? The whole world was behind us. Where is everybody today? Not to mention, where was everybody when Roe v. Wade went down in 2023? Why were we not in the streets fighting for our democracy? Where was the Women's March, the organization of the People's March? We should be fighting in our streets now, actually before. This is Nazi Germany. Not to mention number 3. Where was everybody in this country for Kamala Harris? Where are all the women? Let's think about that. No one gave a shit. Other women do not give a shit about women's rights. Where was during the protest during Gaza? I'm all for Palestinians' rights, but the millennials were on college campuses protesting. You want genocide now? You will have genocide under Donald Trump and his fascist regime. Wake up, America. We need to resist and get this fascist piece of shit out of here. Ukrainian people know what it's like because they've been fighting for their democracy. Wake the fuck up, America. Now there is a bill now that just passed in the Congress and the Senate, and they're waiting for him to get back into the White House, where they will get rid of the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. Wake up. That's all I gotta say. Resist this bastard.
We'll just stay here.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay. I'm gonna scan this way because I feel like nobody's looked over here yet. Hi, my name is Adrien Easterling. I am third generation immigrant. My grandmother Isabella came here from Italy. My grandpa Marty fought in World War II. My grandmother worked her ass off to make sure that she supported us, and my father, Michael Joseph Easterling, raised 2 kids by himself against a system that did not support him. He was disabled and they did nothing to help him. He had, in addition to the Social Security that he was on, he had to work odd jobs and jobs under the table to make sure that there was food on the table, and he did. And I bring him up because my father taught me a very important lesson that I want to share with you, because that is the best way that I feel as I can get my point across. When Donald Trump was elected, my father and I sat on his bed and we watched the news. And I told my father how terrified I was. And my father looked at me and he said, "Do not be afraid and do not live in fear, because when you do, they have won." And I know that it is terrifying. I am terrified. I am 22 years old, and I am terrified that I will not live to be 25 when my brain has fully formed. I am terrified that I will not get married. I am terrified that I will not make it. But I refuse to let that hold me down, and I hope that those of you who are scared and who do not have the courage yet to come and protest and fight and believe that there is nothing that we can do, that the government is too strong, that it is too big, please listen to my father. If you live in fear, they have won. We cannot let them win. We cannot. If you think that this does not affect you, if you are cis, white, heterosexual, and male, if you think this does not affect you, you are so sorely mistaken. If it does not affect you, it affects your mother, your sister, your friends, your cousins, everybody around you. If you think, oh, well, I don't have anybody like that, okay, then it affects your fucking economy. Economy is residual. The economy that you have all been bitching about is not Biden's fault, it is Trump's fault. That is the economy that we are going to get once he is out of here, and it's going to, if he ever gets out. I am a history major, and I love history. And I need to tell you that the similarities between Hitler's rise to power and Trump's rise to power is terrifying, and this is not me making false claims and trying to scare you into this. Everybody forgets, and I don't understand why, Hitler was elected chancellor. He rose to power properly, as they say. He was elected in and then did horrendous, horrible things that we are still paying for. Never again. I am begging you. Look at history. Learn from it. Do not let it frighten you. Let it encourage you to put a stop to it before it begins. Now, he is already in office, which is horrifying. But we know we have 2020. What do they say? Hindsight is 2020. We have hindsight. We spend months learning about it in school. Do something about it. Do something about it before the concentration camps come. Before they start. Before World War III. Before everything goes to shit. I am begging you. I don't want to see a world war. I should not. I am tired of living through fucking historical moments. I am 22 years old. I should not already be in a fucking history book. Okay. That's my whole speech.
Wow. Thank you for that speech. And we have the public advocate, Jamani Williams. He's going to give a message.
Peace and blessings, New Yorkers. Peace and blessings, Americans. How y'all doing? I know it's a tough time. A couple of days is almost here. We, a lot of us have actually read about what's happened in history, and we talked about what we would do if we were there. And for 2-3 days, we up. We are up. So do me a favor. Just ask permission for the people next to you, but just grab somebody's hand. Ask them permission. I want us to feel each other. And tell that person that we're still here. We are still here. I'm going to be with you here. Say, I'm going to be with you here. It's really important because in the darkest times, you see very, very bright lights. We got to be those bright lights. We have to be those bright lights. And there are a lot of people who are rightfully concerned, a lot of people who are scared, and I want them to feel that there's somebody next to them, that we're going to go through this, and we're going to go through it together. I think about the last generation, the folks that fought and fought to make sure that I'm here. There's another generation of folks who are watching what we're going to do. And I'll be damned if we don't make them proud. We're going to shine as bright as we possibly can to make sure that we protect everyone. Everyone. And there are folks, you know, we're human, so we all have our own prejudices, we all have our own biases. I just want to say, be careful where you put your marker of prejudice, because someone else's is different and it includes you. So be sure that you understand that equity, that justice, that freedom train has space for everybody. Because the minute we say accept you, something is wrong. Now, I'm a person of faith, so I'm going to speak from that way. And in a few days, people who purport to be Christians, I don't understand what book they read from, but they're going to be talking about mass deportation in a scale that we have never seen. So I have to remind folks that in the 1930s and 1940s, Germany, the first solution they had was mass deportation. Unfortunately, it wasn't the last solution. So when we talk about these things, it is not hyperbole. That's why we stand up and that's why we fight. And we are on the weekend of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. All he did was move in love. And I hear people misusing who he was a lot. Because he also talked about, he was concerned that we are integrating into a burning house. And I think I hear some of that as we move toward January 20th. I also hear a lot of long-term New Yorkers, and I understand why, who are very angry, particularly black and brown New Yorkers who are angry, who didn't get what they were supposed to get, who didn't get the services that they were supposed to get. And we have unscrupulous leaders who are trying to use their fear and their anger against people who had nothing to do with it. And so I want to talk to our long-term New Yorkers who've been struggling and fighting. When you hear people like our mayor say that I spent $6.9 billion on migrants and I couldn't spend it on you, you need to ask him, well, why didn't you? Because that money was always here. We have always said we have all the money we need to house everyone, provide health care to everyone, provide food to everyone, provide mental health to everyone. We have always had that $6.9 billion. Why did you not view it as a crisis enough to spend that money on people who needed it? I know they wouldn't have spent that money on you because they never did. So you have to ask them why not. So keep that anger, but don't let that anger focus on people who had nothing to do with it. Focus on the people who made those decisions. Make sure they don't go back into office because they made some very bad decisions that harmed us. There's a saying that I've been hearing that comes from Brazil, and it says, no one let go of anyone's hands. We got to hold on to that. No one let go of anyone's hands. Just for a moment, we got to put aside our own biases, our own prejudices, which we all have if we admit. But we got to make sure we put that aside so we can make it through what's coming. I know that folks say there's a 4-year plan. I'm thinking about a 2-year plan because we can't wait for 4 years. It's going to be hard, it's going to be a struggle, but our ancestors have always struggled and toiled for us, and we have to struggle for the next generation. I'm going to do this for my children, my 2 black, beautiful, young women who have the right to reproductive choices that suit them. I want to make sure they have more rights than I did, not less. And I thank y'all for coming here. I thank for the march. I thank for everything. It's going to be a hell of a doozy. It's going to be a hell of a doozy. But I believe that we can make it through if we just don't let go of anyone's hands, and if we don't allow leaders to divide us, to use some of the innate things that are in us against ourselves. It's really, really important at this moment in time to lift up everyone. I do want to give a special shout out to black women. I appreciate y'all. And I understand why you might want to take a day off and make us step up because you've been carrying a load for a very, very long time. But we need you, and we all got to do this together. It's really important. There are Don't let them tell you this is not who America is. It has always been America. America, unfortunately, has always been pushing the type of horror that we're hearing. But there's always been a part of America that has said, hell nah, I'm going to make this country live up to what it says. That's the part of America I'm a part of, and I'm so proud to be there with you. Let's get started. Peace and blessing, love and light to you all. Thank you so much.
I know. All right, listen, you're going to hear from me later, but I want to show my face now. So let's do a temperature check. I don't know what I've been told. The people here are mighty bold. And there's one thing that's clear to me. The people here have unity. Lies and threats will not divide. The people marching side by side. The people here have unity. The people here have unity. Come on, the people here have unity. Woo!
Alrighty, guys. For those of you who weren't with us at the beginning of this march, I'm Emily. I organized the march this year. Thank you so much for being here. We have, obviously, a little queue going here. Next up is Nicole, who drove in from Connecticut.
On the Metro North.
Hi, everybody. My name is Nicole Gregory. As they mentioned, I took the train down from Connecticut, but my voter registration is actually in one of the reddest states you can possibly be in, Utah, which is where I am originally from. And I was born in 1995, which horrifically means I'm turning 30 this year. But, interesting thing, just in case you didn't know, Utah is home to a large population called Mormons. Now, granted, I am one now. I converted a few years ago. However, the same year that I was born, this little document called the Family Proclamation came out. Now, I personally do not have a testimony of this document. I have a testimony of many things in my faith. I have a testimony of the doctrine. But I do not have a testimony of the Family Proclamation because it so clearly states that a family is a mother, a father, and children. And I find that so difficult, I find that so difficult to take in when I know that I was born in 1995, was adopted that same year in Salt Lake City, Utah, by 2 gay dads. I am an original gay bee, people. That was what it was back then. I know it's been claimed for something else, but I was a gay bee because there were not a lot of us.
We're going to bring back the word. Don't worry.
Thank you. Now, a lot of people, when they see me and they hear that I'm Mormon and they hear that I've got gay dads, they look at me and go, now that's an oxymoron, and I 100% admit it. It is. However, the men who raised me taught me what true love is for the community that surrounds them. They taught me to speak up when something is wrong. When I was 10 years old, we had moved to New Jersey for a few years. Gay marriage was going through the New Jersey courts for the first time when I was 10 and 11. And I was one of the children asked to speak at that time. And my parents gave me the best advice they could possibly give me, which was just be yourself and speak about who you are and who we are as a family. And that's what I'm doing still. You know? Again, I'm almost 30. This is 20 years later. I shouldn't still be doing this, people. But I now live with roommates who, when they introduce me to their friends, they introduce me as the cool Mormon. because they see that I drive around with Utah license plates and a bumper sticker that says no uterus, no opinion, and I have gay dads, and I'm fine with the fact that somebody grows weed close to us. I don't care about the way they live their lives, that I am here to just love them unconditionally, because that is what my family taught me to do, and that is what my church preaches ultimately. And then I sit there and wonder, why do they have to call me the cool Mormon? Why am I that? And it's because they have been let down, and I see it all the time in growing up, for getting made fun of for having gay dads, majority of my childhood, until, ironically, I moved back to Utah when I was 14. That also should not have happened. But it's because they see the religious right fighting so hard to take everything away from us, from them. And it's so different to them that there is somebody who understands where they're coming from, that's in their corner, who is still religious, but who still agrees with everything they're fighting for. And I constantly have to remind myself, but the doctrine, the Bible, Jesus taught love. And I'm so grateful that I had two wonderful parents who taught me how to stand up and speak out for injustice, who taught me how to stand up for others who don't have the same rights as me, who don't have the same privileges that I do, because I recognize I am a white, Christian, straight woman, and that, even though I'm a woman, I still have more privileges than a lot of people in this country right now. And that's a really hard pill to swallow. But it's what I do with that privilege. So I am standing here with all of you today, pledging that I am not done fighting, that I have a voice, and I will use it to fight for every underprivileged person who is here. I will use it to fight for every person who needs a voice, because that is what privilege counts for, people. And I encourage every person who has that privilege to do the same. Thank you, and God bless you all. God bless America, because we really need him coming up.
Thank you. And for those of you that just joined us, I am your proud queer Latino co-host, Germán, for this year's People's March. Again, very proud for you all to be here. If you feel impassioned about one of these issues, our civil liberties that are under attack with this incoming administration, and still reeling from the policies he enacted in 2017, please feel free to join the queue. But up next, we have Chris, all the way from Connecticut, from the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Hi, my name is Chris Viola. I've been involved with civil rights for many, many years. Back in 1990, I was on the march with Coretta Scott King and Abernathy to fight for civil rights. I was involved with the Christic Institute law firm, where we exposed the Central Intelligence Agency funneling drugs into black communities so they would commit genocide. I am declared by the Southern Poverty Law Center to be a civil rights activist. What I want to say here is that we will get Donald Trump out of the White House as long as we stick together in numbers. I have proven this with other bad people. We have to work together, fight the power, as the group Public Enemy has said, and keep the momentum moving. And don't be afraid to use your voice, and we need a lot of young people to help out. Again, when they said the Christic Institute law firm was crazy, saying the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, was involved in funneling cocaine with the Iran-Contra affair into poor black communities, we exposed them, we proved it. There's government documents, drug law enforcement, and foreign policy that exposes Bush, President Bush, Oliver North, and other people. And we will expose Donald Trump. And I want to thank everybody, and I was carrying these signs around, people power, and that's what it is. Fight the power, and hands up to Rucker Park in Harlem, New York City.
All right, guys, next up we have Russo with Teamsters and Workers' Voice.
Hey everyone, first of all, can we please get a hand for the organizers? This is amazing. Thanks so much for giving me the opportunity to speak to you all today. I also came all the way from Connecticut. I don't think as much as a hike as maybe some other people, so I appreciate everybody making the trip. I'm a trans man and a rank and file Teamster. I work in a factory of about 3,000 or 4,000 people that leans pretty conservative, but I think it's really important for people like me to take a stand, which is why I'm here today. Trying to defend my siblings in my community and all communities that are coming under attack. We can see, a lot of attacks on a variety of communities, which I should say is kind of dumb on the part of the powers that be, because the question then becomes, well, what happens when we all get together? And I think we're seeing a little taste of that today. To speak specifically on trans people, someone earlier asked, why is our small community under such threats? And really it comes down to the existence of our community poses a challenge to the gender system that is set up. It poses a challenge to the millions of dollars that can be saved when there's an expectation that people will perform childcare for free, that the life aspiration of people should just be to have a family and just stay in the home. They want to force us out of public life. They don't want us to be participating, to have our own agency. And that's why we're seeing the reemergence of these cultural notions of things like the trad wife. But we should be here to tell them, you're not sending us back to a time before the civil rights movement. Absolutely not. And this is where Trump comes in. He is chosen because he was the most transparent advocate, I think, of working in collaboration with the bosses. But I think it's really time for the labor movement to step up, and we've seen what this can mean in the past. In 2006, when there was a general strike of immigrant workers, the attacks on their community were chopped dead in their tracks. This is the kind of power that we have to mobilize now. And that's part of what I'm working on in my shop. I recognize that every coworker presents an opportunity for me to educate people and to tell them what's at stake and to explain attacks on one person, as they say in the IWW, an injury to one is an injury to all. And that's the perspective that we need to be bringing to every conversation. There's an opportunity, especially as a union member, to resist reactionary sentiment on the shop floor. And that conversation needs to happen because a lot of people that I talk to that, lean conservative, they were drawn to the economics, but they can be pulled away when they realize that the economics are bullshit. When they realize that if free labor is allowed to take place, that creates a competition between us and other workers when we all need to stand together. And so this is the unity that needs to be cultivated. What could it mean if our movement joins forces with other movements? What could it mean if we see a revival of struggle in the streets that was seen in the 60s? That could be enormous. That could change the entire landscape of this country. But it's going to take an independent mass action perspective organized through the labor movement with the solidarity of every movement coming together. And anyway, again, I'm just so thankful for the opportunity to speak to you all today. Please come over to our table over there. Come see me. I'd love to chat. And thanks.
And we've just met, but I'm so proud to introduce you to Tiffany from the Caribbean Equity Project.
I told y'all I was coming again. All right. Make some noise for yourselves, everyone. You know, I am Tiffany Jade Monroe, a undocumented asylum seeker that came all the way from Guyana. I am a trans woman that is the trans justice, okay? I am the trans justice coordinator for Caribbean Equality Project. You know, I want to say to you all, and seeing your faces, today we gathered to discuss a matter of profound importance. And this is our ongoing fight for trans rights in the face of political and social challenges. The struggle for equality, dignity is not new. But in new years or recent years, policies and rhetoric, particularly under this administration that's coming in, which is Donald Trump, have highlighted the fragility of progress and the need for continued vigilance and action. Transgender rights are human rights. And at their core, these rights affirm every individual's freedom to live authentically, free from discrimination, from violence, and systemic barriers. Yet despite significant advancements, trans individuals, especially Black and brown people of color, face disproportionate rates of violence, homelessness, healthcare inequities, and employment discrimination, and mental health issues. The journey toward trans equality is far from over. And every single one of us here has a role to play, whether it's speaking out against injustices, supporting trans-led initiatives, or challenging harmful policies. Our collective efforts matter. You know, trans rights are not a partisan issue. They are a human issue. We must channel every energy toward building a future where every trans person feels safe, valued, and free to live as their authentic selves. You know, I want to tell folks we must continue to move forward and not backward, because this is where we're going. And ensure that history remembers us as advocates for justice, compassion, and equality. And I want to say something to you. Show me what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
Show me what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
Trans lives matter.
Trans lives matter.
Trans lives matter.
Trans lives matter.
Thank you so much.
Next up, we have Lindsay.
Hello, so I am a queer Latina, and as such, intersectionality is so important because seeing how Latin community is, right? We have the struggle of some family being undocumented, struggling with employment, and then for the queer community, it's just completely eradicating people's lives by not letting them live their authentic self. There's so many fights, and that's what the government wants us to do. They want us to fight. They want us to fight each other so that, you know what, we're doing the work for them. We're already creating a division, and we can't let that happen. We gotta be and stand together, because if not, they're winning, right? And it's also more than just us. More than the US, our government has money. How much money have they funneled to Israel to kill kids? How much money do they funnel to bomb and eradicate their lives, their buildings? You know, some families have been wiped out in Palestine. So it's like fighting so many different fronts, domestically, internationally. How much money is being used to exploit Congo? Right? We gotta free Palestine. We gotta free Congo. We gotta free us. That's what we gotta do. Because what the government wants more than anything is for us to just live mindlessly, to just work until the day we die while we're fighting each other. Yeah, and we don't want to do that. I want to see us really become a community to fight for everyone, because we all have empathy. We're all people. We're all human. No one's better than anybody. So I really hope that, and you know what, not just hope, we are going to stand, and we are going to do much better than we've done before. We're going to continue to fight for every single right, because we are all human, and we all deserve better than what the U.S. government has done to us and has done to other people across several countries.
And up next, we have Carlos Cadia Palaso, the president of the Brooklyn Young Democrats.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Let's warm up a little bit with a chant. Won't back down. 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 We will never back down. We will never bow down to a wannabe dictator. My great-grandmother fought dictatorships in Cuba. She was a guerrilla fighter in the Cuban Revolution against the dictator Batista. My grandfather fought against the Castro dictatorship. He was a political prisoner for just passing out literature about democracy. And now it's my turn, right, to fight authoritarianism, but with all of you together. I want to take in a moment to also acknowledge first of all, thank the organizers for doing this, and acknowledge the historic moment and place we're in right now. Washington Square Park has been where movements have been born, from the women's suffrage movement to get the right to vote, to the civil rights movement, to the gay rights movement. What's happened here. And I know these are dark times ahead of us, and I just want to, make it all known that, it might be cold, but, we're going to keep it warm, and the speakers are going to hopefully collaborate with us. So the reality is that each and every one of us, we're going to keep that spark, that fire glowing. That's going to keep us through, get us through. And you know what? It feels like the other side might have won, but you know what? 49% is not a landslide. I saw that sign, and that was a great sign. It's not a landslide. Tens of millions of people agree with us. They believe in human rights. They believe in trans rights. They believe in immigrant rights. They believe in the rights of all people, and they believe that we don't have a planet B. Elon Musk can go to Mars if he wants, but I'm staying here to fight for this Earth. So we have a world that future generations can live in, and we have already seen the disasters. And I just want to say, Trump had his populist talk, but you know what? He was a fake populist, because the swamp is bigger and the billionaires are more in charge now more than ever. And we're seeing what's happening. An oligarchy has been forming, and it's forming stronger than ever. So it's going to take each and every one of us to fight. Now, as I finish, I want to speak to, I'm the president of Brooklyn Young Democrats. I want to speak to the young people in the crowd. And I want to say that our generation has really inherited a very difficult fight. I mean, the last several decades have been very, very difficult. We're fighting fascism, but you know what? We're up to the task. Tough times build tough people. And we're going to fight back, and we are going to lean on each other and community. And I want to say to everyone, young at heart, that we need to get involved locally as well, right? There are critical fights in this city, in this state. We have a mayoral election that can shape the future of our city, and where New York goes, the country goes. And we saw it in the election. There's city council races, there's comptroller, there's public ad, there's so many races. So please get involved. Join a community board. Please make sure you join a local group. Together we're gonna get through this, we're gonna lean on each other, we're gonna fight, but we're not gonna roll over, and we're not gonna surrender. We're out here in the cold. Donald Trump, he can't brave the cold. That's why he moved the inauguration indoors. But we're gonna fight. And I also, if you live in Brooklyn or work in Brooklyn, you're a young person, make some noise. If you're a young person, lives in Brooklyn, come talk to us, Brooklyn Young Democrats. We're getting organized. That's why if we're gonna educate folks, we're gonna get involved. That is how we fight. We get involved locally, we lean on each other, and we never ever give up. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight. Thank you, everyone.
Alrighty. Looking around the fountain, I just want to say I love everyone's signs, the creativity. Good job. Next up, we have Dylan.
Hi. My name is Dylan Charlie Mitchell Kelba. I am a gender fluid person. This is my first march. As I can see right now, we as a community are held by everyone you see for your left and right. We still have time, as you know. And if you are scared, you are allowed to. Just know that fear means you have something to fight for. For me, what I have fighting for is my future and my siblings that don't have the same privileges as me. Every day is not guaranteed, but every single day and every single time you have a choice to use it however you want. I just ask you use the power as a human you have to use your voice. You cannot change the past, but right now you are changing the future for the better. And if no one told you today that you are a unique human being, no one has the same gifts as you, no one is able to replace you. You are unique. You are one of a kind. Everybody should know that. If you have letters to write, you have reasons to stay. You need to forgive our neighbors and release ourselves from the emotional turmoil of conviction. Yet we cannot forget ourselves. Allowing to let go and allow yourself to give the past mistakes and future ones. This in itself sounds easy or hard. It all depends on your perspective. In any relationship, it does not always matter what you or what they say. It always matters on what they do. Words will and have been faked. Only thing that matters is what the actions are, what they are doing for you as the person. Thank you.
No hate. Okay, that was off. No hatred, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hatred, no fear. Immigrants are, I said no hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcomed here. All right.
And up next we have Tate.
New Yorkers, lend me your ears. I am so grateful to be here, and thank you for holding space for me. My name is Tate Kenny. I'm a proud union member and a brand new immigrant to this country. I am also a victim of Donald Trump's first administration. I came to this country to make my dreams come true, completely subscribe to the American dream. Please forgive my privileged ignorance. And overnight, I watched that dream dashed and divided like a million little stars across the Santa Fe sky. Donald Trump's administration made sure of that I had no pathway forward. With 24 hours notice, I had everything taken away from me, my entire world, my apartment, my community, my loved ones. But I know that I am one of millions. I am one of the millions of people who is affected by Donald Trump's administration, and what an immense privilege I have to be here standing today. I've been on a multi-year journey, peppered with border detainments. I'm very familiar with the terrorist organization known as ICE. Visas, paperwork, heaps of unjust nonsense. Later, when I was a victim of a crime on American soil, I was turned away from the police station because of my status. I am one of the millions of hardworking, law-abiding, useful, valued, respected dreamers who come here with the same great hope tucked in their heart. Donald Trump took millions of dreams away, separated families, communities, and country, and now he's back for more. Pardon me. I was and will continue to be Donald Trump's greatest fear because I will not back down. I will not be quiet. For myself, for my family, for every single person who's ever had a dream of a better life. A life full of hope, love, opportunity, and safety. Dreams have no borders, and no human being is illegal on stolen land. We, the people, are willing to stand up, fight back. This is not our America. We believe in our freedoms, our families, our futures. We know our rights. We believe our bodies should remain ours. That libraries should hold knowledge, not propaganda and censorship. That gun violence must end. Black lives and brown lives and trans lives matter. That immigrants get the job done. Healthcare, including reproductive freedom, are fundamental human rights. I think it's clear I'm pretty scared to speak today. But I'm terrified for the next 4 years. The risk of being quiet is too great. I will not allow my children or anybody else's children to inherit Donald Trump's America. This cannot be who we are. This cannot be what we stand for. I'd like to close. I once heard that if one woman told the truth about her life, the entire world would crack open. And it's in that crack, that light, where all the goodness gets in. I want to leave you with the words of James Baldwin, a great American. No coincidence, a New Yorker, and a person of color, and a member of the LGBT plus community. I love America more than any other country in the world. And exactly for this reason, I insist on the right to criticize her perpetually. Friends, they have tried to bury us, but they did not know we were seeds. Sprout, bloom, plant your roots, tend to your neighbors, and water the grass. We need it now more than ever. We have to keep each other safe. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Next up, we have Bert.
Hello, New York. Could I tell you a story really quick? 1 month ago, about 100 feet from here, there was a look-alike contest for the CEO assassin, and I won that contest. And, I don't think I have the hair for it personally, but thank you. But the media told quite a few lies about me after I won that contest, and I showed up here 2 weeks later to talk to Channel 5 News about how healthcare is a human right. And what I told them is that there's 48,000 uninsured people in this country who die every year, which is 4,000 a month. It's 130 a day. It's 5 an hour. It's one person dead every 10 minutes because they're taken hostage by the healthcare system. And, it's not okay, and we all know it's unacceptable to put profit over people's lives. And while they're busy demonizing me for dressing up like a supposed assassin, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance were posing with Jordan Neely, a known murderer, on the news. And he's not concerned with healthcare. He's not concerned with people. He's concerned with money. And so is the billionaire who's dog walking him. So we're not going to put up with that, okay? What we all know and believe is that there is no monetary value on a human life, ever. We know that. And we're going to tell them that every day until they understand that we are here to take care of each other in this country. That's what drives us forward. That is the reality. There is no right-wing ideology. There is no MAGA ideology, because those ideologies are about how to put an end to people and how to make money off their exploitation. But we know that we have to be here for each other. And as long as we are, there's no way they're ever going to win. All right? We got this. So if you can put on a jacket and win a contest, you can also stand up and speak truth to power every single day. All right? Take care. Thank you. Sorry.
When I say people, you say power. People.
Power.
People.
Power.
People.
Power.
People.
Power.
People.
Power.
People.
Power.
All right.
Okay, we're going to keep the momentum going, but I did want to make you all aware, Emily and I got a permit, secured a permit to occupy this space until 1:30. But this is the People's March, and this is our land. So it is entirely up to you. We are going to keep the folks going. We have a couple of people, but did want to make you aware in terms of the permit.
And if you are going to disperse, we do ask if you'd like to leave your sign somewhere in the fountain so that we can spread the word past today. Hopefully the rain doesn't destroy anything, but last time we did the march here and ended here, I remember everyone left their signs, and I just thought it was really powerful for anyone who couldn't be here with us today. But with that being said,
we're going to pass it on to Lydia.
Hello, my name is Lydia. I am on the autism spectrum. I am also Jewish. My great-grandparents fled Nazi Germany. America was the only country that was safe enough for them to come here. Before that, other family members fled pogroms in Russia and parts of Eastern Europe. And it is hard to believe that now I live in a country where anti-Semitism is more acceptable than Germany today. Right now, we have a president who was we're about to have a president who is spouting lies. He was prepared to blame the Jews if he had lost. And now we have Elon Musk, who is spreading anti-Semitic propaganda. And furthermore, he has also promoted the R slur, which deeply affects people in the autism and neurodivergent community. And I'm just terrified for the next 4 years, but I'm also really hopeful because Democrats actually did pretty well down ballot. I don't think Trump is someone who can easily be replicated. And so I urge all of you to get involved locally. There's a mayoral election coming up, and we deserve better than a mayor who is coddling with Trump because he's more concerned with getting a pardon than actually serving us New Yorkers. There's also a Supreme Court race in Wisconsin that will determine the balance of the Supreme Court. It took Wisconsin a decade to undo the rigged elections and gerrymandering. And I believe that these fights take time, but that's why we have to keep voting, we have to keep organizing. One single election isn't going to solve all of this. There are also the Virginia elections and the midterms. So I urge you all, don't think of this as 4 years. Think of it as one election a few months from now, another election a few months after that, just one step at a time, and know that we're not alone. I love you all. Thank you so much.
And up next, we have District Leader Diana Gonzalez.
Hello, hello. My name is Diana Gonzalez. I am an elected representative to the New York State Democratic Party and to the Brooklyn Democratic Party. Thank you. I am also the executive director of an organization called Disrupt, which researches how best to convert swing voters over to our side. And then we put that knowledge to work actually making it happen. You can check us out at disruptpac.org. That's disruptpac.org. Now, the great thing about my work, both as a party official and as the executive director of Disrupt, is that every morning I wake up and I think to myself, what am I going to do to fight back against a Trump administration today? What am I going to do to stand up for immigrants today? What am I going to do to stand up for women today? What am I going to do to save our planet today? What am I going to do to fight racism today? What am I going to do to get health care for all today? And we need more people doing it every day, right? This protest, this march today, this is not the be-all, end-all of our resistance. This is the beginning. Woo! We have a long, hard road ahead of us. It's not going to be easy. Sometimes it's going to feel like it's too hard or it's impossible. And when that happens, I want you to think back to today. I want you to think back to this community, to the solidarity, to the commitment and the energy. And so I'm going to ask you to join me chanting, stand up, disrupt. Stand up.
Disrupt.
Stand up.
Disrupt.
Stand up.
Disrupt.
Stand up.
Disrupt.
Give yourselves a round of applause, everybody. Thank you so much.
Up next, we have Pedro Cides.
Hi, everybody. How are you doing? So, as I look around today, right, I see a multitude of cultures. I see a multitude of backgrounds. I see a multitude of ethnicities, religions, perhaps colors, and that's the pluralism that Martin Luther King was wishing for back in the '60s, right, and prior. That beauty is here today. Now, that being said, we have a tremendous amount of room to grow, right? We need to increase that cultural diversity, that ethical diversity, that religious and racial diversity. But we have made tremendous amount of strides because we come out here in the cold, because we are fired up nonetheless, and we work tremendously hard to enact change. I also want to provide an anecdote about just a little bit about my background and my family's background. I'm a first-generation American. My mom's an immigrant. She moved here when she was 17 years old. She didn't speak the language. She worked odd jobs early on in her life while she lived here, like many immigrants are doing today. She went to LaGuardia Community College. She went to Hofstra University, got her bachelor's and her master's. Now she's teaching young autistic children how to progress so they're doing well and are living great lives. That is the American dream. Coming into this country, people affording you opportunity, and then you paying it forward, right? By making a greater society through your contributions. Because of her, I was able to live a great life. I was able to get an education. And because of President Obama's tenure, I was able to go to great school and get involved in my community, and now I'm trying to do the same. The last thing I want to say is it's great that we come out and we parade around, but the way that we really enact change is by getting involved in our communities. A lot of folks have already hit on this. It's from the ground floor, the ground level, talking to your neighbor and maybe planting the seed and changing their mind about a topic that's relevant and contemporary to what we're marching about today. It's about showing up to your county government and the legislative hearings and speaking up and making sure that your legislators, you have their ear. I see a lot of beauty around here today. The arc of progress is long, but it bends towards justice. There's a lot more beauty for us to come. And we have to work tremendously hard to get there, but I know we're going to give it the old college try. Thank you, everybody, and thanks for coming out today.
And it is getting a little rainy. We're going to weather it out until, we can. But up next, we have Philis.
Hello, everybody. I have to tell you that I had absolutely no intention of saying a word here today. I was just planning on being here. I have been here. I have been here since Kent State. I am what you call an althakaka. I'm an old broad, okay? Been around a long time, seen a lot of stuff. One thing I can tell you is that I have, for the longest time, been watching society be engineered to get us to where we are today. When I hear people saying, oh, I don't know how we got here. Oh, honey, I've been watching this crap for decades, okay? As they peel back rights, as they peel back education, as they peel back opportunities, so that people are beaten into the ground until all they care about is how the hell they're going to manage to pay a bill or get through the next day. And when you're like that, you can't pay a heck of a lot of attention to what's going on around you, what they're doing to you. And brother, are they doing it. And I'm here to say that when you look at, Trump and his cronies and all of that stuff, they can give a rat's ass about you. You are nothing. I'm here to tell you, you ain't nothing. Or so they think. Okay? Because all they care about is power. All they care about is money. When a car explodes, they look and say, oh, how much would it cost to fix that thing to stop it? Okay? Well, how many lawsuits might we get? What's cheaper? Fix it? Or, just let it go. So they let it go. Well, that's your environment, by the way, because they've looked at all of this and they have counted the costs and they have said, we'll be okay. We got our bunkers. We got our whatever the hell it is they're going to be hiding out in. So to them, you're nothing but a commodity. You're just something that is in the way. Older people, yeah, let's get rid of Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security, all that stuff. They don't care if we die in the street. We are nothing. But what they have done is they play us all against each other. And they make us feel hopeless. And they make us feel helpless. And we are not. Okay? The power in America, thank God, is dispersed. Okay? Yes, they may have a good grip on federal government right now. But change starts at the local level. All laws start at the local level. Okay? Movements begin like right here. Okay? You can't let them steal your hope. Okay? You can't let them steal your power. You can't let them divide us so they can win and drive roughshod over the body. Okay. Anyway, I belong to a group called Represent Us. And we start at a very grass level root. There's all kinds of different, check them out, Represent Us. That's it. Okay, I don't know, I'm ranting, so forgive me.
Thank you. And up next we have Zoe.
I should not be up here. But now that I am up here, I want to say, we need to change this. We are people, and we are all here today, and we need to fight to change this corrupt society. Honestly, that's all. I don't have much to say. I'm
11. How's it going, y'all? So, united we stand, divided we fall, right? That's America right there, and we're America, baby. There's the famous poem, right? Holocaust speech. First they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I wasn't one of them. Then they came for the socialists, the trade unionists, the Jews, and then no one spoke up for me when I had no one else around me. Well, now they're going after the trans. I don't get trans. I respect it, though, because they're here. I have friends that are trans. There's no reason to be scared of them. Same thing with the illegals. How many years of illegals have we had in this country, and now they're eating the dogs? Now they're like the boogeyman that we should all be scared of. There's nothing to be scared about because they've been side by side with us for decades, for generations. And now I know we've heard some people coming after gay rights and all that, using the Bible as a way to get people together, to unite people with hate. However, there's something in the Bible, James 5:1-6, a warning to the rich about the misery that awaits them, including the cries of the workers they failed to pay. There was one thing that I agree with MAGA, and I know we're all divided at the moment. There's one thing, it was the swamp and the elite. And ironically enough, this is the first ever administration we've ever had of billionaires. First ever. And that's why we need to stick together, and that's why we need to unite in community. That's all I got. Stay united. United we stand, divided we fall.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for staying to listen if you have. My name is Rhiannon. I was not anticipating speaking today, so this may be less than eloquent. But I was just so moved by everybody sharing their stories and their viewpoints. I was born and raised in Nebraska, which is one of the reddest states. When Omaha voted for Obama in his first election, it was known as Obamaha. Yeah. I was raised in a military family, family of veterans who loved protest songs and punk rock. So I was raised on CCR and Fortunate Son, things of that nature. I am also a dramaturg and a historian by trade, and was raised with a love of history. I got stopped by several people today for the sign I was carrying. It says "For Them," and it has a variety of names in the back. It is the women who were killed because they had no right to abortion access, missing and murdered Indigenous women, the Black women who have been killed by police brutality over the past several years, our transgender and genderqueer folks who have been killed, injured, etc. within the past just year, etc., etc. I could have put so many more names on there. And I just want to say, as we are heading up to the inauguration, and as we are in the anniversary month of Hitler coming to power, that we need to remember these people, and we need to remember that they should be here, and that they, even if they didn't fight, they still deserved to live. And we should fight for them. So please don't let history repeat itself. Please, please, please look at a history book, learn something, learn how to enact it. And I'm so, so pleased to have been here today. Thank you for not making any of us anonymous. And that's really it. Thank you, y'all.
Hi, I'm very nervous, but knowing that all the people here care about other people and the future and the power of the collective makes me a little bit more comfortable. I wanted to address just like climate change, because I feel like we all like understand that it's all interconnected, but I feel like it's maybe not quite tied in enough, which is why I am up here. I think that like if we all every day like think about like how do our actions impact the earth, that is also very much going to help other people as well. Like one of the main reasons why I like try to consider environmentalism in my everyday is because of people. Like when I choose to eat more of a plant-based diet, one of the biggest factors is I think about like usually immigrant people who are in these factory farms and these slaughterhouses. And by me not choosing to eat meat, I am helping them. And whenever I am going to be a consumer and I try to consider, is it secondhand, or is it made locally, or is it sustainable? Like I think about people who are in these also factories, just like essentially slave labor. So environmentalism, I think just it needs to be more understood as like also a human issue as well, and thinking about the people that are impacted with that. And yeah, just that every day, a little choice here, a little choice that is powerful. Like so many people I hear, they just like cop out like, oh, well, you know, we have to hold the oil and gas industry accountable. Like it's them. Yes, of course. But our small actions make a difference. And I think that we all being here prove that we all do believe that. Like, yeah, a little bit at a time. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
What's up, party people? Our healthcare system and Western medicine has historically been rooted in cultivating, accelerating, perpetuating, and profiting off human suffering, illness, and death. A slow, painful death where every monthly premium is squeezed out of us. Western medicine focuses solely on the symptoms rather than the root cause. It is far more profitable for them to keep us on a steady supply of medications with a high rise of dependency and a long list of side effects for which you will need additional medications to manage. Medications that are FDA approved, if that means anything to anyone. Keep in mind, fentanyl is also FDA approved and has killed hundreds of thousands of individuals in the United States in recent years. In the early 2000s, Rudy Giuliani fought for Purdue Pharma's right to continue to push OxyContin, the drug that kick-started the opioid epidemic, despite being embroiled in legal troubles for decades. OxyContin and other prescription painkillers are responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths in the U.S. In June 2024, founder and CEO of a digital health company and its clinical president were arrested for their participation in a $100 million scheme to provide easy access to and distribute addictive stimulants and defraud taxpayers. Unfortunately, this is a shock to no one, as this type of corruption within big pharma and healthcare is the norm. These offices are where criminal drug distribution and mass murder begins. These are the real pill mills. These companies and politicians are the real traffickers and orchestrators of the opioid crisis. The real large-scale block boys. Our healthcare system is operating exactly as it was intended, while we the people suffer at the hands of big pharma, who uses aggressive lobbying, extravagant campaign contributions, and other tactics to influence policymaking. Big pharma has a net worth of $1.6 trillion and partners with insurers and hospitals, while we the people suffer from lack of coverage, high costs, poor outcomes, and perpetual sickness. The CEOs, senior executives, and politicians maximize their profits. For we the people to be in good health with access to preventable care is profitable to no one. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer, as we are kept in this hamster wheel of denied claims, premium payments, deferred medical treatments. The oligarchy is flourishing. The U.S. is the only industrialized nation in the world that does not guarantee access to health care. We cannot stand by for the preservation of this fundamentally broken for-profit healthcare system. We, the people, would like to see our tax dollars appropriately spent on funding health rather than genocide. United Healthcare was found to be overcharging some cancer patients for drugs by over 1,000%. We must hold these corrupt insurance companies and their co-conspirators accountable. Now that this movement is gaining momentum, it is important to stay involved and keep it going. We will not compromise and we will not give up, and the people united will never be divided. Oh shit, sorry.
Hello, I am Kapir. I'm 19 years old, and I own a feminist movement in South America, and now has 5 languages: Arabic, French, Spanish, English, and Chinese. I organized the Roe v. Wade March back when I was 17 years old, and then they asked me to lead the Pride Parade 3 times. I bleached my hair blonde because I was Barbie in the Pride Parade. Then I moved all my activism on TikTok, and then I started to get viral on TikTok. And now Donald Trump is president, and now they're banning TikTok. So now we don't have a voice anymore. So yeah, I was just scrolling to TikTok in the morning, and I found somebody making a live stream of this march, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna come, because at the end of the day, like, TikTok's gonna get banned. I'm not gonna have a voice in like the next few months until my reels get like any type of like whatever. But yeah, this is really bad, honestly. Like, I don't know, like we don't have a voice anymore. This is crazy. So, Yeah, never give up, and I'm here again, marching again, protesting again, just like I did when I was 17 years old. And I'm gonna organize more. I have a feminist movement. It's CAPIREMOB.org. And yeah, you guys can follow me there on Instagram too. Yeah, that's it. Also, if you guys want to see my TikTok, you guys can, but it's gonna be banned tonight. So just keep going, just keep marching, and that's all. Thanks.
Okay, so my name is Catherine Miranda. This morning, I woke up and I was scrolling on TikTok. I saw a video saying that there was going to be a protest. And so I was like, you know what do I have to lose, right? Tomorrow, we all know that TikTok is going to be banned. There's nothing we can do about it now, but we as a community have to stay together, because TikTok is more than just an app. It's an app that brings us awareness, one of the only apps that bring us awareness, because the media lies to us, the government lies to us, and we can't let that continue happening. So yes, TikTok will be gone, but we can find other apps. We can join, like they said, join communities, join your community, stay together with your community, because this is a country that's supposed to be run by the people. Who are these billionaires that are coming in and running our government, paying our government to do whatever they want? This is not an oligarchy, this is a democracy. So we can't let that happen. We gotta continue fighting for our rights, and yeah, that's it.
Let the church say amen. Well, my good afternoon. Well, my name is Clifton Smith. I'm 38 years old, going on 39 in a month. So, as of today, this is my first the Most People's March, which is important about the reason why I came to protest, because the thing is that what happened was what we saw in LA, like last year, we had wildfires in all the wildfire boroughs, all the wildfire boroughs, and then the government is watching this community burns, and now we are so qualifying about Trump. The reason why, and we have Trump demonstrations because of what we have been, and then we see the wildfires in LA. People are losing their homes because of the government watching the burn. We have to build these things, and we need the climate justice. So one other thing is that do, and also the other point, my second point is that we see people shooting the gun violence. Just like 4 years ago, we have George Floyd. We have George Floyd being murdered by the Miami police, by Miami police, and then Jordan kneeling, and then what happened was then Robert Brooks was being murdered in the precinct. So we need to fight for justice. Yeah, so it's time for us to hold this immigrant. And I watched, like I said, I watched the sunlight movement in LA, and I seen people. I seen stood up for that. Yes, and so and please come, and we'll be back. And please, and this is why, like she said, and also what happened was, Israel was being bombed, and the Gaza was being bombed by Israel. So please, join us the march on Monday. We'll be back here on Monday at 1 p.m. as we're going to fight back. Yeah, so that's all I have to say. Enjoy the movie.
Thank you. I hate public speaking, and hello to the drone up there as well. I just felt, as a healthcare provider, as an immigrant family, as an LGBTQ plus person, I think I hate feeling impotent, And I think like many, I don't know what to do. So this was something to do. I like actionable items. I like solving things, and I like being able to make change. I feel nothing I do right now is going to do that. So I think the suggestions for grassroots is very appreciated. I'll have to find something in the Bronx. But I just remember, we already have universal health care. The Hippocratic Oath guarantees that. You come into the ED, we will take care of you. Then I am dealing with the patient with the brain tumor who has to stay in the hospital for 6 weeks because we can't discharge them knowing they're not going to get their radiation and chemo. So they take up a bed living in our hospital getting their care. We are patients too, and our families are patients. So like, I'm a frontline provider. I lived through COVID, moved out of my house to take care of ICU patients. I think it's very hard. I think so many of us don't know what we can do that will make a difference. I don't know that I have the answer. I hope a lot of the people who spoke already before me gave us some suggestions. And I think the plurality, you may not care about the environment. You may not care about equal marriage. You may not care about trans rights. You may not care about Palestine. You may not care about anything mentioned here today, but there's something important to you that brought you here. We have to not be divided, because that's where the power is, as so many people have said. It's as old as time, divide and conquer. And if we're all in our own wee fraction, we're not going to get anything done. So the common fear, the common dislike of what is happening, that has to be what keeps us going forward. Right, thanks very much.
Howdy, y'all. I did not expect to come up and talk, but here I am doing the thing and talking. Okay, so I just wanted to take a quick note to say that we live in a digital age, and the most important thing in a digital age is data and knowledge. And data and knowledge can come in the form of individuals, and that is primarily what most of the money from large-scale corporations go to at this point, is data. In the last couple of years, the Internet Archive went down for a while. Wikipedia has not much money. And at this moment, data and your own data is a very important facet that I think we should all consider onto this. I own a NAS server. It's a little box that stores all my stuff, and I download stuff and I put it on there, and then it's there because I own it actually. I recommend that because it's, in an age of more and more censorship, having something that is tangibly yours because it's on your system is important. So yeah, that's it. The biggest form of rebellion is being your sharpest, truest self. Have a good one.
Yes. Okay. Has anyone noticed that Donald Trump's base is dumb people? It's not jokes, it's not rich people, it's not even necessarily racist or sexist, it's people who are profoundly uneducated. And there is a real reason for that. We were standing next to the most expensive school in America. And if you don't live in a good district growing up, you're not even going to get a good high school education in this country. And honestly, even if you do, you probably won't. And that is on purpose. They want to keep us dumb. They want to keep us listening to 3 TV stations owned by 3 billionaires, using social media platforms owned by 1 additional billionaire, and listening to information that doesn't make sense. They want you to think no one in North Korea has eaten in 30 years, and Denmark doesn't have freedom, and that trans people just showed up in the 80s. There have been trans people here in New York for 10,000 years. And you can learn all that because for the first time in human history, you have the world's largest library in your pocket. And you can go online and talk to someone from across the world who you don't even know. And you can find out the truth about the things that you hear that you know don't make sense. And the truth about history that will let you understand what's going on and understand ways to make our country great again that don't involve fascism. So I really wish that we didn't have a new head of education in our country who runs WrestleMania, but at least now we have that, and I hope you guys use that and your children use that. Thank you. Yes.
Hi, I'm Matt, and what I'm going to say, I will try not to be inchoate, but I have a couple of things to say, and some of them are rather dark. I think the gentleman earlier who was speaking about data, he was also speaking about surveillance capitalism, which is very much what all, like the whole idea that we no longer really own things, we rent them. We used to own albums, we now do Spotify. We used to own Adobe software, we now rent it. The economy is more and more less an ownership economy and a renter economy, where every month money is shelled out automatically to a bunch of corporations. And at the same time as that, there's a thing that I've noticed, and I thought it was illustrative when Hegseth and all the other Republican nominees for cabinet positions, when they went to speak to congressmen and senators, they didn't even bother talking to the Democrats, because the Democrats are sort of just not to be thought of. When Donald Trump speaks of patriots, he is automatically excluding Democrats. And I think that is, and this is personal opinion, I think that is a product of, amongst other things, Fox News. Certainly they originated it, where it's just basically a universalized vision that Democrats, A, are responsible for everything bad, and B, fundamentally don't exist. And that's interesting if you look at other media sources throughout history who have basically decided to blame one group for all the bad things and say that they don't exist. And the obvious one is the one you're all thinking of, but I'm thinking more of the Hutus versus Tutsis, wherein there was a Hutu radio station called Radio Mille Collines, which basically spent years militating against the Tutsis in Africa and Uganda. And ultimately, when the time came, basically created the genocide that where the Hutus wiped out the Tutsis. And the historical reasons for that go back 150 years, but this radio station, this media empire that existed in Uganda, basically made the Tutsis the enemy. And then eventually that involved machetes. And I think that Fox News has been fundamentally, for all these years, on an eliminationist project. And I know that sounds paranoid and weird, but Hegseth didn't even bother to go to Democrats, right? None of those guys talked to Democrats, because Democrats are invisible in their mind. And that's what Fox News hath wrought. And it is the same fundamental thing that Radio Mille Collines did with the Tutsis, and the other obvious example that I won't even bother with in Europe in the 30s. So that's what I wanted to say. There is something I just want you to think about. I'm not saying this is truth. I'm saying that this is, I may be a nut. I'm just some guy standing here in a hat. But I want you to think about the phrase eliminationist project. I just want you to mull that. And you can also say it about Palestine. You can say it about Democrats. You can say it about Tutsis. You can say about the Armenians in the 20s. There are eliminationist projects. And my fear is that like an 8-year Trump administration starting tomorrow or Monday, right? Because he's not going to give up power. could ultimately, like, roll right into an American eliminationist project. And I just want you to put that thought in your heads. And, you know, there's a lot of other stuff going on. I just kind of wanted to plant that thought. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's probably the wrong place to do it.
All right, y'all. Have a good day. Wait.
Trump, fuck Donald Trump, yeah, fuck Donald Trump, yeah, fuck Donald Trump, yeah, fuck Donald Trump.
Hello. Sorry, 1 second. I am late. Had to pick up my dog, but dying to speak because next week is the 1-year anniversary of my father's passing. My name is Andrea Youngchae Kim. I'm the daughter of Michael Hong-seok Kim, former brain injury survivor, New Yorker, fashion designer, father to 2 daughters, and also a United Healthcare Medicare beneficiary. He passed away from complications of a brain injury and the injustice of this country's for-profit healthcare system. As I said, next year is the 1-week anniversary of his passing. So I wanted to come here today because it felt like the right time. And also, my parents met in New York. My mom went to NYU and my dad went to FIT. On February 8th, my appa, which means dad in Korea, was found by NYPD in the middle of the road with trauma to the back of his head. We weren't sure if it was an accident or an assault. But as horrifying as that experience was, what was more horrifying is the treatment of this country's healthcare system. That injury wiped away almost everything about my father, my appa, his personality, his memories, the person that made him the man who he was. But amazingly, he wasn't a lost cause. And with the top medical care from New York Presbyterian, from his great doctors, nurses, aides, from everyone, he started to come back to life with the right medical care and rehabilitation. But as I said, he was on United Healthcare, the Medicare Advantage Plan, or Take Advantage Plan as they call it. And denial after denial, delay after delay, destroyed his chance at a recovery. And my appa died. They destroyed his chance at a humane and dignified remainder of life with his daughters, and my chance of walking down the aisle with my dad. And for that, I stand here today, heartbroken, traumatized, but through this tragedy, I've at least found my calling in life to leave my 10-year career in tech. I was working at Amazon most recently, and to pursue, hopefully, a career in law. So hopefully law schools will accept me this year, so that I can learn Medicare, Medicaid, elder law, and become an attorney, and to protect the most vulnerable patients like my appa, to protect those that can't fight in this system. Thank you. I know I am one person, and I don't look very formidable. I know, I'm 5'2". But I stand here representing the struggles of so many Americans. A second-gen immigrant millennial that is trying to stay afloat in the most hyper-capitalistic society. A former caregiver that wanted to take care of her dad without going into lifelong medical debt. He had a $5 million medical expense within less than a year. How is that possible? And lastly, what I represent above all is a daughter that loves her dad so much that she made a promise to him, a promise that I actually tattooed on my pinky finger, to take care of him and to fight for other appas, ommas like him, to fight for those in this country's system that are dying at the iniquity. And yes, as I said, I'm one person right now, but hell hath no wrath like a woman scorned or a daughter scorned. And I promise I'm gonna hit back not only with my future career in law, but a 10-year career in tech, specializing in machine learning and AI, knowing that this age of technology that we are in, we can build tech products that are accessible, make healthcare accessible for all, using law, and then also, above all, my love and compassion. So I can't do this alone, and I understand that. We can't continue to be divided because hatred and apathy are the greatest weapons. They want us to believe that it's a race war, that it's a gender war, that it's a war against political parties. But it's truly a class war against the handful of the billionaires, soon to be trillionaires, that are controlling this world, destroying this world. And yes, they control the world, and unfortunately, things are going to get worse before they get better. But it's time to remind them that the people outnumber them, and to remind our government, freaking Trump, freaking Dr. Oz, RFK Jr., that they are civil servants and they work for the people and not for the profit. So, if you hear me, if you're moved, if you don't want to continue this, to see our country and our world go to shits, which it probably will, let's band together to fight strategically, not with violence, but with our brains and our hearts, to start a grassroots movement rooted in love and humanity, so that we can build trust once again with our neighbors across this country, red states and blue states across the world, so that we can disseminate information and facts without lies, misinformation, or political agenda, and to build a world that's worth fighting for. I will never give up on this promise that I made to my dad. And for anyone else that wants to fight with me, I'm always going to be here. So if you're also ready to break the status quo, let's fight together for love and for humanity in memory of my dad, Michael Hong-Suk Kim. Woo! Thank you. And if anyone wants to join, I used to do selfies with him every day during his recovery, so I would love to take a selfie just to commemorate this moment. All right, 1, 2, 3, cheese. Thank you.